This conference will now be recorded.
Namaste to all of you and a very good morning. Let us start. Chaturmukha samarambham Vakbhadacharya madhyamam Asmadacharya paryandam Vande Guru Parambaram. Ragadirogan Sadatanushakta Sukhyamoharadidan Jaghana Yo Purva Vaidyaya Namostu Tasmai. So we are back in Ashtanga Hridayam, and we are going to start with a new chapter, Roganutpadiya Adhyay. Roganutpadiya Adhyay. Athado Roganutpadiya Adhyayam Vyakhyasyaamaha iti Hasmahu Ratreyadayo Maharshayaha. This is how the chapter begins. Roga Anulpadaniyam, something which deals with the anulpadanam of roga. Anutpadanam, utpadanam to generate, anutpadanam, prevent, avoid the generation, the making or the evolution of roga. Anulpadanam, anulpadanam, anutpadaniyam. Roga anutpadaniyam adhyayam. In one way, the entire text is meant for Roganulpadanam. Here, actually, when we say Anutpadanam, it is some sort of a Upalakshanam. Anutpadanam is about avoiding the occurrence of Vyadhis. But it also incorporates the management of already occurred Vyadhis. So when we say Anutpadanam, you should get two meanings. The word meaning is avoiding the occurrence of diseases or Vyadhis, and the extended meaning is the management of already occurred Vyadhis. We will find it that Anutpatti Samasena Vidhiresha Pradarshitaha Nijagandu Vikaranam. So Anutpatti, that is for prevention. Ulpannanam cha Shandaye. So that is about the Shanti of already Utpanna Vyadhis. So when there is Anulpadaniyam, you should get both these meanings. The in commentary of this Gadya Sutra is interesting. Of course, Arunadatta has not tried to elaborate it too much, but with Hemadri you will find lot of explanations. Of course, it looks beautiful, even though I personally do not agree with all the points what he has listed out, with due respect. Yataha purvayor adhyayayoho niyatakalo viharo vyakhyadah iha aniyatakalaha sacha panjatha. That is how Hemadri presents the chapter. In the first couple of chapters, Dinacharya and Rutucharya, the previous two chapters, not the first, previous two chapters, Dinacharya and Rutucharya, it was about Niyatakala Vihara. True, that Dinacharya, by and large, there is nothing unexpected in a Dinacharya. Everything is pre-scheduled and conditioned to a good extent. From Brahme Muhurta Uttishted, step by step, there is nothing unprecedented, unexpected. It is a routine. That is where we use the word routine. It is a routine. And in Rutucharya, generally, there is nothing unexpected. After Shishira, Vasanta is expected, obviously. Then Grishma is expected. There is nothing unexpected. Of course, when unexpected things are happening, there are possibilities of many unwanted developments. But as a rule, the Ritu is routine. So the Charya what we have to make, or the changes what we have to make in Dinacharya according to the Rutucharya is nothing unexpected. It is Niyatam. So that way Hemadri explains this very beautifully. And here, as far as the content of this chapter is concerned, he is mentioning it in a very different style. Iha aniyatakalaha. What we are going to explain here is aniyatakala. Aniyatam, anischitam. Anischitakala vihara. True. These Vegas. When will one person is going to have a kasam or jrimbha, udgaram? So many things. Any of the Vegas is not fully predictable, not fully scheduled. So there is some sort of a uncertainty, anischitatva, aniyatatva. So little bit different from Dinacharya and Rutucharya. Here, certain features are explained which are coming under the aniyata vihara. But the next, sacha panjatha, that is of 5 types. That aniyata vihara is of 5 types. Vegadharanam, Vegodhiranam, Shodhanam, Brahmanam, Bhudadi Asparshanam cha iti. Vega Udhiranam, Vegadharanam, Shodhanam, Brahmanam, Bhudadi Asparshanam cha iti. Tesham cha hanopadanabhyam roganam anutpadanam. Tesham cha hanopadanabhyam roganam anutpadanam. Hanam is to avoid, tyaga. Upadanam, endorse, accept, receive, do, follow. So hanopadanabhyam, tesham means vegadharana, vegodhirana, shodhana, brahmana, bhudadya sparshanopaya. Tesham hanopadanabhyam roganam anutpadanam. We will see that it's interesting points. Pragabhava pradhvamsahedutvad. Pragabhava pradhvamsahedutvad. That is how they They means these 5 factors are going to become Roganutpadana Samartham. Roganutpadana Samartham. He is continuing. Tatra Dharanodhirana Dharanodhiranayor Pragabhavaha. Dharanodhiranayoho Hanad. Hanam is avoidance. So by avoiding the first 2 among the 5, that means Vegodhirana and Vegatharanam. By Hanam, there is Pragabhavam. Pragabhavam means the Vyadhis will not manifest. Anutpatyai. That is the Pragabhavam here. Shodhanadi Upadanad Ubhayam. Shodhanadi Upadanad Ubhayam. That means by accepting, following the rest of the 3, that means Shodhanam, Brahmanam and Bhudadi Asparshanam, you can ensure both. That means Anutpadanam as well as Pradhvamsanam of the Utpanna Vyadhi. Utpannanam cha Shantaye. So by following Shodhanam, Brahmanam and Bhudadi Asparshanam, you can ensure Pragabhavam and Pradhvamsam of Vyadhis. Ata evayam Roganutpadana hedutvad Roganutpadaniyaha. So that is the logic behind this chapter. That is how he is explaining. Nice to see. I really appreciate this commentary. Only one point which is making a mismatch in his explanation is regarding the Shodhanam. Shodhanam, what he is explaining, we will see it later. Yadetaja yathakalam doshanam shodhanam prati. That is the context in which he includes this shodhanam. Yadetaja yathakalam doshanam shodhanam prati. So that is something related to the Rudu Shodhanam. And that Rudu Shodhanam, if Rudu is Niyatam, Rudu Shodhanam is also Niyatam. So there is some mismatch in his explanation that he is going to explain, or the context of this chapter is about Aniyada Viharam, is not perfectly in match with his explanation, because Rudu Shodhanam is somewhat Niyada Viharam. So that is the only point where I would like to disagree. Otherwise, I think he has put his true spirit, his purest intention in explaining this part of the opening passage really beautifully. Now, before starting getting into the main content of the chapter, we should have some general understanding that this chapter mainly deals with Vegodhirana Dharanam. Of course, the rest of the things are also mentioned, but the core concepts are about Vegodhirana Dharanam. And again, if you look into our own experiences about how we are going to deal with the situation, or our own experiences about this content, we can make out that Dharanam is more common than Udirana. Dharanam is more common than Udirana. And sometimes later in the textbook, wherever you find Dharanam, Udiranam also should be understood. Similarly, wherever you find udiranam, dharanam also should be understood. So after this explanation, wherever you find one, we should understand that both are included. Fine. And one very prominent statement, what we are going to see in this chapter is Rogas sarvebi jayante vegodhirana dharanai, or vegodhirana dharanad. Two types of pathas are there. Rogas sarv. It is a very bold statement. It's a very bold statement. It is about the nimitta karana. It is about the nimitta karana. You will find this vegodhirana dharanam as a major uh, nimitta karana for almost all vyadhis, even in prajnaparadha. This is included, this vegodhirana dharana. So when prajnaparadham, as all know, it is a sarvadosha prakopana nimitta karana. So it is such a deep statement, or it's such a wide concept, maybe original to Ayurveda, especially, where we are not supposed to uh, be very careless, especially while dealing with or inquiring about the background of a vyadhi. We should not overlook the importance of vega dharana or vega udirana. These days, it is very, very significant because by and large, the lifestyle has become more sedentary. So the possibility of uh, vega dharanam is more. And another thing is, most of the people, especially in the cities, may be living in the outskirts and traveling in the everyday morning. They'll be traveling to the cities for their work, to their workplaces. And many times these workplaces may be so demanding, either in terms of the working hours or in terms of the facilities provided for their uh, maybe some taking rest or comfort. So such facilities may be very uh, minimal. So this is more so with the women. So Vega Dharanam has become a very, very common feature these days. And interestingly, this problem need not be the basic Vyadhi, but the basic Vyadhi Nidanam, Vega Dharanam. And this can result in the manifestation of a huge number of diseases later. And as per the present normal in the society, these diseases will be attended by the corresponding specialities or specialists in the hospitals, and practically it is going to become some sort of a uh, suppression of lakshanas, or partial uh, samprapti vighadana, and many a times the doshas remain leena in the dhatus, in the srotas, or in the kala, and the vyadhi as such may become leena in the dhadus, srotas, or kala, and later this may something like bhuyo hedu pradikshinaha, the disease or the doshas will be resting dormant in the dhadus, srotas, or kalas, and hedu pradikshinaha, and as and when there is a favorable situation, they may pop up again different format. Need not be the same Vyadhi, but a different Vyadhi. And when you have this Lina Kupita dosha, that is an important concept. Lina dosham is Kupita dosham, but facing opposition as far as its forward movement as part of a samprapti is concerned. There are obstacles, so it is blocked, but the push from the nidana is still strong, still there, but there are restrictive elements, and there is a tug of war between the forward push and the reversal attempt. And as the reversal attempt is not full blown, fully strong enough to reverse the entire samprapti, there is no cure, there is no roga shanti, but the symptoms may be manifested. So practically, this Lina doshas are going to lie dormant, recessive within the dhatus, and because they are not sama, they are not sama, they are not going to deliver their normal functions. So because of this presence of such Lina Vyadhi or Lina dosha, dhatus in due course become affected. Agni in due course is going to be affected. Srodasas get obstructed or damaged. Srodorodham, Sroda Upalepam, Dhamani Pradijayam, then this Snayu, Sira, etc. get Gharam. So that sort of changes occur slowly in due course of time. And this is a threat to the ojas. This is always a threat. So if on a daily basis for survival in a healthy person, say for example X units of ojas is consumed, when you have a Lina Roga or a Lina Dosha in your system, that will be eating up more ojas, but still as it is Lina, you may be symptom free. So there will be an excessive burnout as far as the quantity and quality of ojas is concerned. So in spite of your apparent healthy parameters, you will be consuming maybe 3x or 4x of your ojas every day. Due to this, the dhadus slowly develop rukshata. This rukshata further deteriorates the quality of sneha in your system, further compromising in your vyadhikshamata and making you still morbid for either the relapse of the Lina Vyadhi or Lina dosha, or for the evolution of fresh Vyadhis. In Jara Chikitsa, we will find in Jara Nidanam, Linatvad Karsya Vaivarnya Jadyadinadadhatisa. There are many conditions these days where this Lina dosha is creating issues. Many autoimmune or slow degenerative diseases, then the so-called fatty degeneration of organs. Everywhere you have to look for this sort of a Lina dosha or Lina Vyadhi. So behind all these developments, we have to look for the exact nidana, exact nimitta karana, and we can find that many a times vega dharana, especially in the city dwellers, especially in women, is becoming a major cause. It is interesting to note that in Rajayakshma Nidanam, we find 4 major reasons. That is, and one among the four is this Vegadharana. Sahasam, Vega Samrodham, Suklauja Sneha Sankshaya, Annapana Vidhityagaha. So 25% for Kshaya is attributed to Vegadharana. See the significance. So we should not overlook. In the coming lines, we will see many disease situations where we can understand these points more precisely. So let us move forward now with this background. And another point, yeah, I think we will explain it later. Fine. Veganna dharayedvada vinmutrakshavadrikshudham nidrakasa shramashvasa jrimbha ashruchardi redasam. This is the opening statement. Veganna dharayed vada vinmutra kshava trikshudham nidrakasa shramashvasa jrimbha ashru chardi redasam. So na dharayed, vegadharanam nishedhati, vegan na dharayed, and it is listed out. Vadam, vadam is of two types, urdhvadam and adhovadam, or on the reverse, adhovadam and urdhvadam in its order of explanation. Vid, mutram, kshavam, trid, kshut, nidra, kasam, shramashvasam, jrimbha, ashru, chardi, and retas, retaha. So we have 14 Vegas listed here, which are advised as Nadharayed. As I told earlier, even though we find that only Dharanam, we should assume that there is Udiranam as well. But interestingly, we will find the Vyadhis of Dharanam only and the treatment also. So for Udiranam, we should understand that one Chikilsa Sutram or one reference of understanding is given at the end of the chapter, which we will see later. Now we will move on to the Vegas one after the other. Adhovadasya rodhena gulmodavarta ruklamaha vadamutra shakritsanga drishtyagnivatha hridgadaha. Adhovadasya rodhena gulmodavartaruklamaha vadamutra shakritsanga drishtyagnivatha hridgadaha. So as we told earlier, Veganna dharayed vadam. So it is going to start with the vadam, and that vadam is of two types, adhovadam and urdhvadam. So we start with the urdhvadam, sorry, adhovadam. So adhovadasya rodhena gulma udavarta ruk klamaha. Gulma udavarta ruk klamaha. We should understand every word properly, I think. Gulmam is a vyadhi vishesham. Udavartam. Udavartam, which is explained in Arshas. Durnamnamityudavarta paramoyam upadrava. Vada abhibhuda koshtanam tairvinapi sajayate. Very important. I think that is supposed to be one of the most significant samprapti, one of the most common samprapti that is happening today and causing n number of Nanaruvai asankhyeyaih vikaraihi. So n number of diseases are caused by Udavartam. Everybody should see that list of diseases which are included as part of Udavartam in Arshoroga Nidanam. Everybody should please see later. Then Ruk. Ruk is pain, Pida. Klama is some sort of a tired feeling, Glani. Then Vadamutra Shagrat Sangha. Vada Sangam, Mutra Sangam, Shagrat Sangam. See the interesting factor. Everything started with the Dharanam. And Dharanam later causes Sangam. It is important. So initially you hold it deliberately, voluntarily. But later it becomes a Sangha. No pravritti. Vada Sangam, Shagrat Sangam, and Mutra Sangam. Vadasya rodhena Vada Sangaha. Interesting. So this can be applicable everywhere. Then Drishti Vatham and Agni Vatham. Vatho Nashaha. Drishti Nashaha. Agni Nashaha cha. Hridgada. Gadam is Rogam. So Hridgadam means Hridrogam. Hridrogam as a clinical entity is explained. Basically, all these things are closely related to Gulma Samprapti. So they can be learned together. Fine. Then, so I think everything is clear there. Adhovadasya rodhena gulmodavartaruklamaha vadamutra shagrat sanga drishtyagnivatha hridgadaha. Now, shakritaha. Shagradvega rodham. Tajjanya vikaram. Shagrada pindigodveshta pradishyaya shiroruja urdhvavayu parikarto hridayasyoparodhanam mukhena vitpravrittischa purvoktascha smrutaha. Of these three lines, the second line is not accepted by most of the commentators. It is supposed to be a prakshipta shloka, which is added later by somebody. The second line is not accepted. I think the commentators are not commenting on that. So it is thought that at the time of the commentaries that that line was not there. Urdhvavayu parikarto hridayasya uparodhanam. But I think it has become a added, an accepted text these days. So we will see. Shakritaha. Shakritaha rodhena pindigodveshtanam. Pindiga udveshtanam. As if it is knotted or tied. Udveshtanam. And getting stretched up. It is almost like a cramp or a pull, something like that. Then pradishyayam. Pradishyayam. Pradikshanam syayate iti pradishyayam. Something which increases very fast. We know that it is a type of vyadhi explained in Shalakya Tantram, which is predominated by Vayu. Vayu is the main culprit behind all sorts of pratishyayam. So that pratishyayam, shirorujaha. Shiroruk. Shiroruk means headache. So I think this is very, very important line. Pindigodveshtanam, Pradishyayam, and Shiroruk. These are very commonly presented conditions. They are not very rare. Especially Pradishyayam and Shiroruk. Very chronic Pradishyayam. They may be calling it as allergic rhinitis or deviated nasal septum or hypertrophied turbinates or chronic sinusitis. There may be many beautiful names, but the issue is chronic Pradishyaya. Shiroruk. Again, we have beautiful names to explain or mark headaches. Very beautiful names. It can be cluster headaches. It can be vascular headaches. It can be tension headaches. It can be sinus headaches. It can be neurological headaches. It can be migraine headaches. So all are very fascinating names. And interestingly, most of the gullible patients are happy with these names and they happily live with their headaches, which is never going to subside. And there will be a magic pill which can be swallowed whenever you have headache. The headache never heals. So in such situations, those who are living with these beautiful names like migraine or vascular headache or cluster headache, I think we should not look for an alternative of the medicine what they are taking right now, maybe 650 milligrams of paracetamol or something else. We should have a thorough search for the real nimitta karana. Don't try to follow a failed path and fail again. We should have our own strategy. We should have our own methodology, which is original. So this line is going to be the breadwinner for a Vaidya for his entire life of maybe 90 years or 100 years. Shagrada Pindi Godveshta Pratishyaya Shirorucha. Very, very important. Then Urdhavayu. Urdhavayu. Urdhavayu is, you can see that it is not commented upon in the commentaries because, as I told earlier, this line is not generally accepted in the earlier days. In Urdhavayu is generally some sort of an Udgara Bahulya. Urdhavayu is an Udgara Bahulya. We can find some sort of a definition of a disease like Urdhavayu. If you go through the Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthanam 23rd chapter, Chakrapani makes a reference about a disease. He is not disclosing the source, but still it is nice. It is like this. Atha pratihato vayu Shreshmana kupitena cha karodi amishamudgaram udgara urdhvada sauchyate. That is how urdhvada is defined. But I think need not bother about this shloka definition and everything. What is told is more important. So atha pratihataha vayuhu. How shleshmana kupitena shleshmana atha pratihataha vayuhu anisham udgaram karodi, and that is known as urdhvada. That is, it is sort of an udgara bahurya. Fine. Then parikartaha. Parikartaha is a type of cutting type of pain in your abdomen. Sometimes parikartika is supposed to. We all tend to make some sort of a find some allopathic associations or comparisons, and we are very deeply satisfied when we find a similar or a comparable condition in allopathy. I think it is not needed. Parikartanam is parikartanam. We tend to make it because it is a lakshana vishesha mainly. So a type of pain which is similar to the pain generated by cutting with a scissors. It can be anywhere. So you can expect parikartanam in your tummy. Sometimes you can expect parikartanam somewhere else. Then this condition called fissure in ano, which generates a lot of severe pain, and also you visibly see a wound which is like cut by a scissors. I think we are more than happy to compare fissure in ano as parikartanam. Fine, great. Then hridayasya uparodhanam. Hridayasya uparodhanam. Uparodhanam means to create obstruction. Pradirodhan. So hridayasya uparodhanam means creating obstructed feeling on the hridaya desham. Better do not misinterpret it as an atherosclerosis. It may be atherosclerosis or may not be atherosclerosis, but the intention of the word here is feeling of an obstructed feeling in the hridaya desham. Hridayasya uparodhanam. Mukhena vitpravrittihi cha. Mukhena vitpravrittischa. Mukhena vitpravritti can be seen as a sometimes two things. Number one, later in this chapter, we will find that it is an asathya lakshana of vegarodhajanya vikaras. And number two, it is in some situations it is referred to as even a part of an arishta features. So mukhena vitpravritti can happen when there is shagrat rodham. As we can make a note from the previous shloka, athovatasya rodhena, we find that vada mutra shagrat sangam. So rodham creating sangam. Here mukhena vitpravritti. We should look into the possibilities of a functional disturbance later evolving into a structural issue. When that can be equally applicable here also. When you start holding your shagrat vegam for longer periods, like months, years, which has become habitual, that shagrat getting retained in the apana, in the pakvashaya, in the Gudavali, can cause structural obstructions. I think the best reference in this part could be Arsho Roganidhanam. So all these things are to be always connected with the conditions explained in Nidhanasthanam. In Arsho Nidhanam, we find Dosha Pragopa Hetustu Praguktaha Tena Sadide Agnau Male Adinichite. Then extra reasons. Punascha divyavayataha yana sankshobha vishama kadhinupkadagasanaad vastinetra smaloshtorvitalachailaadi khattanaad bhrisham shidambu samsparshaad pradadati pravahanaad udiranam. pradadati pravahana. Again, Vadamutra Shagrid Vega Dharanad Tadudiranad. Vadamutra Shagrid. See, only 3 are included. Here also we will find these 3 as given as a block, as a set. Vadamutra Shagrid Vega Dharanad Tadudiranad. Jaragulmadisara, etc. etc. Idrishaischa Paraihi Vayu Apanaha Kupito Malam Payor Valishu Sandhatte. Taswabhishyannamurtishu jayandersham. See a functional error slowly developing or evolving into a structural problem. Later in Arshas itself, we find Nivartamano Panohi Tairatho Margarothadaha. Because of this structural issue that has caused in the name or by the name of Arshas, Adhomargarothataha Shobhayan Anilan Anyan Sarvendriya Shariragan Tadha Mutra Shagritpitta Kabhan Dhadumscha Sashayan. Further, Mridnadi Agnim Tadah Sarvo Bhavadi Prayashorshasah Krisham Bhrishaha Hadolsaha Dina Kshamaha Adinishprabhaha Asaru Vigadachaya Jantujushta Ivadrumaha. Many things we can find, and at one point of this development he will become or he will come to that stage of Mukhena Vitpravtischa. Mukhena Vitpravtischa. So it is a grave situation. Even in Arshas, it is really a very dangerous development. Then Purvoktas Chamaya Smrtaha. Whatever is explained in the Athovadasya Rodhena, those diseases Purvoktaha cha amayaha smrtaha. So all those things can also be or will also be manifested in Shagridvega Rodham. Shagridvega Rodham. So we will read it once again. Shagrida Pindigodveshta Pradishyaya Shirorujaha Urdhvavayu Parikarto Hrudayasyoparodhanam Mukhena Vitpravtischa Purvoktascha Amayaha Smrtaha. Then I think we will read one more sloka. Angabhangashmari Vasti Medra Vankshana Vedanaha Mutrasya Rodhad Purveja Prayo Rogaha. Angabhanga Ashmari Vasti Medra Vankshana Vedanaha Mutrasya Rodhad Purveja Prayo Rogaha. Mutrasya Rodhad. Mutrasya Rodhad Angabhangam. Angabhangam. Bhangam is breaking. So some sort of a breaking type of pain all over the body. Angabhangam. Asmari. Asmari. Everybody knows. Then Vasti Vedana. Medra Vedana. Vankshana Vedana. Vasti Medra Vankshana Vedana. Mutrasya Rodha. Vasti Medram Vankshana. Tridesham. There pain, Vedana. Mutrasya Rodha. Again, Purveja Prayo Roga. Whatever rogas we saw, we were explained like Adhovadasya and Shakrataha, they also can occur in Mutrasya Rodha. So these 3 form a block, one set, where Apanavayu is directly. There are many other areas where it is involving indirectly, but here they are directly. Shuklartava sagranmutra garbha nishkramana kriyaha. That is what apana is. Shuklartava sagranmutra garbha nishkramana kriyaha. That apana is generally involving first hand. So you can expect sharing of diseases among these three Vegas. It is possible and it happens. And interestingly, in the corresponding Nidanas, in the Nidana Sthana, in the corresponding chapters, you can find how closely interconnected they are. In the Mutra Rodhajanya Vikaras, like that Mutra Kritsram and Ashmari, then Shagrud Rodhajanya Vikaras, many things, and Adhovada Janya Vikaras like Gurmam Rudrogam, even Kasam in Ashtanga Sangraham, you will find direct reference that it is because of Apana Rodha, Apana Vega Rodha. So these three are so closely connected, and so is their treatment strategy as well. But we should have a proper understanding that all these organs are not meant for the same thing. Athovayu, Chakrat, okay, almost having very similar sites of operation. But Mutram, even though it is managed by Apanavayu, it is a different Srotas. It is a different Srotas. The Avayavas, which are Angas, which are engaging in this operation are different. The Dhadus and their priorities are different. So there should be some sort of a specificity in intervention. When it is Adhovayu, we know that it is to be corrected at the plane of Apana, but there should be some specificity. When it is Chakrat, we know that it is at the level of Apanavayu, but there should be a specificity. Again, in Mutra, we know that it is Apanavayu, but there should be a specificity in intervention, considering the different types of Srotas involved. That will make the treatment more precise and prompt. I think we will deal with the treatment aspect of these three Vega Rodhajanya Vikaras in our next session. With this, I think we will conclude. I wish a very wonderful weekend to all of you. Nilesh, shall we stop here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If there are any queries, we can take some of those, or we will conclude, sir. If someone has query, can ask it directly.
It's fine, I think, Nilesh.
Yes, sir. Yes,
There
sir.
is,
I think we
yeah,
can
no much
conclude, sir.
points which are to be discussed in detail because it's an introduction thing, no? Fine. Okay
Excuse me,
then.
sir.
Yes?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Somebody is
Sir,
asking something.
actually, sir, myself, Vaidya Jitendra.
Okay, tell me.
In the context of Kasa Samprapti, the Adha Pratyatavaya, actually, I am having a very big question on that. But whether it is related to this context or not, I don't know. Can we interpret the Vata which is explained in the Kasa, Adha Pratyatavayu, whether it is related to the Apana or what, sir? Because in
Just
this
see.
Adhovata Sarodhana, we are not having a Lakshana of Kasa here. That's why I am having a doubt regarding that, sir.
Yes, that is really important, no doubt. But you just go through the Kasa Samprapti as explained by Vagbhada in Ashtanga Sangraha. So beautifully explained. So beautifully explained. So once you go through that Kasa Samprapti as explained by Ashtangas in Ashtanga Sangraham, then I think if you have still some lack of clarity about this, definitely we will discuss it in the next session.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Because it is so beautifully explained in Ashtanga Sangraha. That is why I am
Okay.
requesting. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So you
Okay.
just
Thank you,
go
sir.
through it once, and then definitely we will, if required, we will discuss it. Right?
Ha, sir. Ha.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
We will conclude, sir, today then.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.